Hello, Carlo. Congratulations on the win. Unfortunately, Gabriel had to come off during the game. There'll be a lot of Arsenal fans who are a bit concerned seeing him come off. Can you say anything that might help ease those fears? How bad is the injury?
No, bad I don't know. I think he had the problem on his adductor. We have to, the medical staff has to check tomorrow. We are really sorry for this, really disappointed. When player had an injury, I hope that he can recover well and soon.
Hi Carlo, just another one in English if that's okay. You put a lot of faith and confidence in Esteban. How special is he, and is he one of the most special youngsters that you've worked with in your career?
He's a really talented player. I am a little bit surprised for this because it's, of course, and he is able to show every game. I saw him play in Chelsea too, and doesn't need a lot of minutes to show his quality. He can play 5 minutes and he can show his quality. I think Brazil national team is really lucky to have him, and also Chelsea.
Thank you.
Last one.
Carlo, sorry, another one in English. What do you think of Casemiro's performance today, and how's he been since you brought him back into the Brazil squad?
Really well. The most important player to balance the team when we have the ball. Really intelligent tactically. I don't have to discover his quality there. He scored a goal. Really important leadership in the squad, and so he's an important player for us, of course, for sure, for all this kind of quality.
Obrigado.
Extra time. Alexis alongside Casey and Craig. Do we still have Frank with us? I believe we do.
Ever since Sebi had a meltdown, everybody mentioned short sheets now.
Yeah, because now everyone
Look at me
knows.
not having a meltdown. Look at me.
You guys brought it up first.
Look how I handle this very stressful situation.
Shot sheets can be stressful when they're not in order.
Yeah, I know. What would you want? We'll hire somebody that comes down and puts them in order for you.
That's above my
Or
pay grade.
get here earlier.
I do.
Or prepare properly.
I do.
Like Casey and me.
You guys are analysts. You don't even look. Craig doesn't even have one shot sheet. That's just how good he is.
Hey, short sheets are in
Yeah.
there. Sponge.
A wealth of experience.
Sponge.
Wealth of
You know
experience.
what in there?
What?
Brain.
Brain.
Not
Brain.
much.
Not
Brain.
much, but there's something
Just
there.
enough.
All right, let's get to the first question. It's for Craig. Craig, the one time that Cristiano Ronaldo didn't play and Portugal scored 9. Coincidence?
No coincidence they were playing Armenia and Ronaldo would probably have scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
But he'd have been gutted
Oh, to not have at least 2 penalties.
to not play in that game because
for
that
sure.
would have given his
Oh,
numbers.
he would have padded it.
His
Yeah.
numbers are fantastic anyway.
Yeah, there's no.
But
yeah.
that would just have taken his numbers.
Through the
So
roof.
yeah, he'd have been okay.
Yeah. All right, next question is for Casey. Casey, apart from Messi in 2018, have you ever seen a player single-handedly carry their nation to the World Cup like Erling Haaland? Could Troy Parrott do the same in 4 months for the Republic of Ireland?
Well, I mean, Troy Parrott's got to be very happy to be
Yeah.
mentioned in the same category as the
As
two
we know,
aforementioned. But look, I think it doesn't matter who you're playing against. For your country, when you have an opportunity to shine, you talked about it. 5 goals in 2 matches to give themselves and to give Ireland an opportunity to go to a World Cup. You can't imagine that happening as a player, that you're able to do that against the likes of Portugal and Hungary away. So, yeah, give Parrott a ton of credit. And if he can now pop a couple more in the playoffs and actually when it matters, brilliant.
I think that's a little unfair on the rest of the Norway team.
Oh, yeah.
Because Haaland, you know,
Yeah, he did score 16, but
he did, but he's been part of a Norway team before that has failed miserably.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they have given him a better platform
100%.
to do what he does best. So he's been around for quite some time since he's been a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how good he's been.
And I think it's similar with Messi. That Messi needed to win it a supporting cast
Of hard-working players that were at a decent level,
correct.
which they had.
Yeah.
the Rodrigo de Pauls and the Enzo and all these guys that really grab. And so for Erling Haaland, it's the same. Troy Parrott's slightly different. You know, the Irish are, you know, they are what they are. They're a little bit limited. His is a sort of, you know, shot to stardom story in the last week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Erling Haaland has been about the Norway team for quite a few years, and he's just not had a good enough supporting cast. Now he has, and that's given him the chance to just absolutely flourish and continue to flourish.
Frank's been a little quiet. Frank, you want to weigh in on this with your Republic of Ireland knowledge?
Not that much, but I'm very happy to see them, you know, going like that. I mean, it's always crazy when you score the last second of the last game, and you can go to the playoffs and maybe dream about something special. I mean, that's why we love football, because the uncertainty brings something, you know, into your core, and it's why we love that. We are not robots, we are human beings, and somebody suddenly makes something miraculous, and it's just amazing.
Frank, you seem to have disappeared halfway through the normal show, didn't you? The regular show.
Yeah.
No, I was listening to you. I didn't disappear. It's just the host of the show. You don't want to ask me anything.
I was told not to bring Frank in when we were doing African qualifiers.
Well, that was my point. My point. That's the point I was going to get to. Was I'd have been long gone.
Yeah.
There's no way. I want extra time. You want to steal in for extra time? You can stick it where the sun doesn't shine.
It's always a special treat.
I'm not sitting listening to that guff for half an hour, whether it's me or anybody else.
You're such a pro, Frank.
In the dark, listening, going, they're still piping on about the Democratic Republic of Congo and the penalties, and I got to wait an extra time. No chance.
Well,
because you don't love each other, the other ones. You know, it was a special treat to see Casey and yourself, you know, talking about the bad karma of Gattuso.
Exactly.
Oh, Frank, you know, if it were up to me, I'd have you in every segment.
I know that.
I know. Craig's romance is gone. Were you ever romantic?
Sorry?
Back in the day? Did you ever have a heart?
Your job's to ask questions.
Next question. That is a question.
Yeah, but a proper question.
You're not a shrink. It's too late for Craig.
Oh, it's too late. But one day we're going to warm the cockerels of his heart.
Well, maybe.
You struggled to get that.
One day.
Yeah.
No, it's just my accent.
You warmed something. I don't know where it was.
All right, next question. Should Marcus Rashford drop for Rafinha, or should he play as a number 9 instead of Lewandowski? I suppose at the rate he's going.
Oh, wow.
Or Torres. Ferran.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think personally, I wasn't sure how Rashford was going to fit in Barcelona, and you know, with injuries, with you know, kind of the younger crew that they have because of obviously their transfer issues. I think he's done brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's also not the focal point. At Man U there for a couple of years, he was such a focal point, and it was either he had to perform or there was issues. Where now he can just go and be a you know, complementary to other players, but he has contributed very well in that wide position. I think if he, for whatever reason, if Lewandowski gets injured again I think he could play centrally on occasion, but I wouldn't take him out of that wide left. I think he's done great.
What do Barca do when Rafinha comes back?
But Rafinha,
Rafinha, if Rafinha comes back to its best, there is no competition.
Correct.
Rafinha is going to get his position, and unfortunately for Rashford, it's going to be hard. Unless, as you say, Casey, Lewandowski get injured and Torres maybe get injured, then maybe he will have a chance to play. But that wasn't the deal. The deal at the time was, in case of injury, Rashford will have some chances. Luckily for him, Rafinha got injured, so he had to show his talent, and he did well. And I agree with you, Casey. He has been brilliant, but if everything goes back to normal, I don't see any room open to Marcus Rashford.
Craig, no room for Rashford?
Well, Hansi Flick's under a bit of early season pressure, particularly with the way they've defended, which is not an issue per se for the front line. Although you could say that, you know, the pressing starts from the front. Two things have fallen in Rashford's lap: the move and the Rafinha injury. Now, as Casey said, he has pretty much taken advantage.
Yeah.
He has contributed. He's looked dangerous. He scored goals, and he's been really pacey on that left-hand side. But if you're a manager who has just had the season out of Rafinha that he had last year, then you have to figure that he's going to find a way to get him up to match sharpness and get him back in the team. And that's probably going to mean that, you know, Marcus Rashford is going to have to sit out. Now, talking about dropping him for Robert Lewandowski, didn't Lewandowski just get back in the team before the international break and score some goals?
Yep.
And prove that he is still that penalty box striker and can be. So, you know, I think when everybody's fit, Marcus Rashford will probably find himself back playing as a squad player.
But they don't have the biggest squad, and they're going to have a bunch of matches, so he'll still feature.
He'll still feature.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Is this season the most competitive in recent memory? Other than Arsenal and Wolves, the rest could beat one another on the day, as there are more than 2 clubs fighting for each place.
Well, I think you're looking at, you know, I think the slow start that Man City had. Now they seem to be in form. Now Liverpool have seemed to have dropped off. I'd be interested to see what happens with Arsenal if this Gabriel injury maybe is a little worse, and you know.
I don't think the timing of this question is perfect. Bearing in mind Arsenal's game before the international break, they dropped points from a winning position against a promoted team in Sunderland, who have done well. So I don't think their dominance of English football is to be anointed just yet. I mean, they've had a good start and they have looked the best team. They've looked the strongest team in every department, that has to be said. But there are still some areas there that it's not perfect. So I get what they're saying with Wolves, because they're obviously struggling at the moment. They've just hired a new manager in Rob Edwards. But from Arsenal's perspective, they really, until they prove they can be the team that doesn't finish second and wins the league, the question mark is still going to be there, particularly with City, and we'll see what happens with Liverpool, whether they can put a gallop on or not. Go on, Frank.
And Chelsea are hanging in there, Frank.
No, Alexi. What I see behind that question is because they talk about the most competitive in recent memory. It says a lot about the level also of the football, where I barely saw, except last season and this season, an average kind of level of most teams, where before you are like 6-7 teams above everybody fighting for the competition and winning the title, and as Tinker Taylor Marin as alluding, is the fact that everybody is quite of average and cannot find his consistency that we always talk about. And even Arsenal, as we mentioned, they had a draw away from home, but against a very good Sunderland. But where those teams, they really stand. That's my concern. You know, I saw Paris Saint-Germain get Bayern Munich. I was wondering if the Bundesliga was that average or not. I saw fantastic Bayern Munich, so we can say Bayern Munich, maybe Paris Saint-Germain. But where stand Arsenal in the Champions League? We very soon will know. But I'm still asking that question. I'm still wondering, because that's not a very good sign to see all those teams not being able to cope with some other team who are so-called less good than the others.
I love taking questions apart. It's one of my pastime hobbies.
Like a professor.
No, I just like ripping them to shreds, really. I mean, it's in the question here saying anybody can beat anybody other than Arsenal and Wolves by that insinuation, but Liverpool did beat Arsenal early in the season, and then they've dropped points at Sunderland. So there's no perfection here. So the question is I think aiming at, is there anybody that Arsenal are just going to steamroll the rest of the league? Well, they've just dropped points and they lost against a Liverpool team, albeit it took a Szoboszlai great free kick in a game at Anfield. But Liverpool have struggled this season, and Arsenal lost to them. So yeah, it's not just the others that can beat each other. Arsenal can be beaten as well, as they have been this season.
Yep.
Okay,
So-
next question. To pick apart.
Better questions, please.
All right, better questions. Let's see if the next one's better, but it's actually
How
for
many people do
Casey.
you think just think I wish they'd just, I don't know, shoot him? Like I'm annoyed. You know, they just annoy people.
I mean, There's quite a few of those, but the next question is for Casey. Casey, Gio plays poorly for club, but always brings it for the national team. Is he the James Rodriguez of the USA?
Well, I think part of the issue is I just want to see Gio stay fit.
Yeah.
And I think if Gio stays fit, I think he will prove himself at Gladbach and be a regular player as a regular starter as the season progresses. And then yes, then I hope this isn't a question. Then I hope it is a situation. But I think there is some validity to it right now in that James somehow is able to perform for Colombia, but can't do it week in and week out at club side. So I want the best of both worlds. Of course, I want him to play well for the national team because I want the national team to do well. But as a former Gladbach player, I clearly want him to dominate for Gladbach as well.
Is that a better question?
Yes.
All right. Well, the next one's for you.
Oh, yeah, hopefully it's
Craig,
about Scotland.
if you're Troy Parrott's agent, are you looking to flog him to a Premier League club in January, or would you let him continue his development in the Netherlands?
He's playing for his
AZ Alkmaar.
AZ Alkmaar, isn't he? Obviously, I don't know how often he's playing or how well he's playing, but yeah, no, I don't think anybody's going to buy anybody off the back of
a couple matches in qualifying.
Unless you're James Rodriguez, scoring a couple who just pitches up at a World Cup and does some brilliant things, and then people
or a Copa America or anything.
He's still at Rayo Vallecano, not getting a game. I don't know if he's.
No, I don't think so.
No, he's not.
No, I think he's made 2 moves since then.
Yeah, let him enjoy his moment. But yeah, if this kind of stuff continues, and you know, when you're playing at international football, you do get obviously you're playing in bigger stages, or supposed bigger stages, and then you go to a World Cup, potentially like Ireland could, and you're on another platform. I know players that went to a European Championship on free transfers, or they were on a free transfer at the time, or a Bosman, call it what you like, and that became a platform for them. Now that can go either way.
Yeah.
You know, it can go well or it can go badly. But yeah, obviously, I don't
think teams are recruiting as much as they used to out of international matches.
No.
And I think they are seeing more of kind of what are they doing for club? What are they doing now? Like you said, I think if a player is circumstantial that they're out of contract and they're like, hey, let's see how fit he is. Let's see what he's doing. And then the only matches in competitive matches you can watch him in happens to be an international match. And they'll go,
Casey, let's say that nobody knows Erling Haaland and you watch him and he plays for a club in Norway and you see him scoring with Norway. I think now people will be pushing all the door of his parents' house or agent's house to make sure he can sign for any club, because he proved during those qualifications that he's somebody special. So yeah, for Parrott it's maybe too early, but for team players like let's say Alan will not be known. Yeah, people will be pushing to get him.
Because I think just to go on the transfer stuff, I think to Casey's point, the international thing is like a little bonus. Because I think what a lot of clubs are doing now, obviously, some more than others, they're using not just the scouting department, but they're using the data, but the data analysis, they're taking it from your club, from your week to week, your 3 games a week or whatever it is you're playing, 2 to 3 games a week. They're taking all that data from that, how many minutes you play, how many injuries you've had, how many assists, how productive you've, all that sort of stuff. They can get that in the press of a few buttons, and that's where they're dragging these players most of their information from, and then they're obviously watching with the eye test as well. When it gets to the international football, that's a kind of sideshow, but it's not something that's never looked at.
Correct.
But it's particularly in this day and age where you take a lot of these clubs and they're looking on the computer about what you can do. It's not just about sending the scout to the stadium and say, oh yeah, I saw Troy Parrott 4 times and he's a good player. Those days have pretty much gone now.
Are gone. All right, well, final question now, and this one's for Frank. Frank, who's your favorite singer?
Oh wow, that's a strange question because if I name some French people, you won't know them.
Well, they don't have to be French.
Who sang that song, Jo le Taxi?
Oh, that was Vanessa Paradis.
Melissa Paradis.
She was
Do you
first in
remember
the
you're too young for that?
English chart. She was first in the English chart.
Yeah.
Jo le Taxi, il va pas partout. That was a horrible
Yeah,
song, but
slightly.
the English loved
Oh,
it.
wow.
But I'm a big fan of Frank Sinatra. I'm
Okay,
a
so
big
Dan?
fan. Who song I'm the first, the last, my everything with that very low voice. I forgot his name. You're the first, you're the last, my everything. Come on, everybody knows that.
Michael Bublé.
Barry
No,
White?
come on. Barry White. Thank you very much, Alexi.
Barry
I'm a big
White.
fan of Barry White as well. Of course, Michael Jackson. I'm just with my wife. We're just waiting for the movie to come out in France because we want to see it. Because that was he's
Hit
a
after
legend.
hit.
He's a real legend. Yeah. And Bob Marley. Just to name you,
Oh, well done.
big fan. I played with his son.
Pandering.
I played soccer with his son.
Oh, which one? He's got a few. He's got a few.
There's a team there you could have played
I
against.
played with Ziggy with the Hollywood
Ziggy
United.
Marley, yeah.
We played against David Beckham. I played alongside him in the midfield. And
brag.
we lost. I think we lost big time, but it was fun.
All right, there you go. Well, that's it. Those are Frank's favorite singers. Craig doesn't like music, and we'll get into Casey's.
I'm a little bit at the moment. I'm enjoying at the moment the Foo Fighters.
Nice.
Just now.
I like Dave Grohl.
It's
Is
a bit of a blast
extreme-
from the past.
Good, I like it. What?
Blast from the past. They're still
Yeah.
great.
I mean, I know, but like,
They've just got a new drummer. Right?
Oof.
Dave Grohl, that man can do everything. Drum, guitar.
100%. Well, the first album, he played every.
You know who Dave Grohl is?
Yes,
was
yes,
the drummer
of
from
course.
Nirvana.
yeah, I do
Poor
know.
Kurt
I do know Foo Fighters.
Kurt Cobain obviously
Yes.
passed away, and he formed the Foo Fighters. Not everybody's cup of tea, but they can.
I know the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not necessarily number one on my playlist. I played a lot
What
in
about the Goo
Jamaica.
Goo Dolls?
Yeah, I do love the Goo Goo Dolls. Iris, right?
Iris.
What a banger! What a banger! I think I was like in fourth
Who's the
grade
lead
when that
singer?
came out. Wait, give me. What's his first name?
Johnny.
Okay, no, I don't know.
Johnny
He had
Reyes.
great hair though. He had those
Not
little
in the
side
music that
curtains.
much.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap things up here. Now we know that.
Mikel Arteta's contradictory comments dismissed after Everton versus Arsenal fixture change. Mikel Arteta has faced criticism from sections of the Arsenal fanbase after the Premier League granted the club's request to move their away fixture against Everton forward by 1 day. However, a closer look at Arteta's statements shows there was no real contradiction in his words, only a misunderstanding of priorities. The change means Arsenal will now face Everton on December 20th, rather than on Sunday the 21st, allowing the Gunners an extra day of rest before their Carabao Cup quarter-final against Crystal Palace. From the club's perspective, it's a sensible move to protect player welfare and performance levels during a congested period. Yet for many supporters, the news came as an inconvenience, and in some cases, a financial burden. Fans who had already booked non-refundable travel and accommodation for the original date could now be out of pocket. In response, Arsenal announced that they would provide coach travel to Liverpool for £10 return, but the gesture didn't stop frustration from spilling over on social media. An Arsenal fixture news account on X, formerly Twitter, at AFC Fixture News, summed up the mood. The away match against Everton has been moved to Saturday, December 20th at 8 p.m. thanks to at Arsenal, Mikel Arteta, and at Sky Sports PL. The last train from Liverpool to London departs at 8:12 p.m. Football for the fans. Replies to the post, from an account with over 40,000 followers, were divided. Some supporters even accused Arteta of contradicting earlier comments where he seemed to emphasize the importance of fan welfare. But is that really the case? Having attended the press conferences where Arteta was asked about the scheduling issues before and after the Crystal Palace quarter-final was announced, it becomes clear his comments were taken out of context. Following Arsenal's win over Brighton in the Carabao Cup fourth round, Arteta was asked whether he feared fixture congestion could become a problem. He responded, "I hope not. If we take care of the well-being of both players and our supporters, we should never get to that point. That's our most important value. We have the best league in the world, and we can't lose that by ignoring what makes it special. If we respect that, I'm sure everything will be fine." This was the first time Arteta mentioned both players and supporters together in this specific context, placing them in the same sentence, not necessarily in the same order of importance. Later, when Arsenal were traveling to Prague for their Europa League win over Slavia, the December 23rd date for the Palace match was confirmed. Asked about the potential scheduling clash, Arteta, visibly serious, said, "Hopefully they move the Premier League game, because it doesn't make any sense to play until that late in December. I'm sure they'll make the right decision." When pressed again about the long-term impact of playing 2 matches in 3 days, he clarified his stance. "As I said before, I'm confident the league will apply the right principles, to prioritize the players first, then the supporters, and to make sure things remain fair for all clubs." In other words, Arteta's position has been consistent. His hierarchy, players first, then fans, reflects the practical realities of management. From a sporting point of view, that's not unreasonable. His job ultimately is to give Arsenal the best chance of winning matches, and playing 2 high-intensity games within 72 hours would compromise that goal while increasing injury risks. That said, the disruption to fans is real and shouldn't be dismissed. Arsenal have tried to mitigate the damage, offering affordable coach travel to Merseyside. It's not an afterthought. The club has made similar efforts before. For instance, earlier this season they organized a chartered train service for the trip to Manchester. The pilot program was later cancelled due to low uptake, but supporters were refunded, and coach travel was again arranged at less than half the train fare. Still, some pointed to restrictions on alcohol consumption on those buses as a reason for the lack of enthusiasm among travelers. A small but telling example of the balancing act clubs face between fan experience and logistical responsibility. As someone traveling to Liverpool on the new date to cover the match, it's easy to empathize with supporters' frustration. Plans are disrupted, and expenses add up. Yet, from a footballing standpoint, it's equally clear why the adjustment was necessary. In the end, the accusation that Arteta betrayed his words doesn't hold up. His comments were consistent with his role, a manager whose first duty is to protect his players and the team's ability to compete. While supporters deserve respect and consideration, ensuring player welfare, and by extension, the club's chances of success, inevitably comes first. The debate highlights a broader tension that runs through modern football, the struggle to balance fan experience with the relentless demands of the sporting calendar. For Arteta, it's not about choosing one over the other, but about finding a way to keep both sides moving in the same direction. The scheduling change has sparked broader discussions about fixture congestion and the growing disconnect between football authorities and match-going supporters. While the Premier League's decision ultimately favored Arsenal's sporting interests, it reignited long-standing frustrations among fans who feel that television broadcasters, rather than clubs or supporters, dictate the modern football calendar. Several supporter groups voiced their disapproval following the announcement. The Football Supporters Association, FSA, released a statement calling for greater transparency in fixture scheduling, emphasizing the financial and logistical strain late changes impose on fans. Once again, supporters are being treated as an afterthought, the statement read. When games are moved at short notice for broadcast or scheduling purposes, fans are left out of pocket. This has to change. These concerns have grown louder in recent years as fixture lists become increasingly congested, with Premier League clubs competing in multiple domestic and international competitions. December, in particular, is notorious for its relentless schedule, and managers have repeatedly warned that player fatigue and injuries are becoming inevitable outcomes of such intensity. Arteta's comments, prioritizing player welfare first, then fans, reflect a reality shared by many top-flight managers. Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, and Erik ten Hag have all voiced similar frustrations about scheduling in recent months. Guardiola, after Manchester City's December fixtures were adjusted for television, remarked that the players are not machines, echoing the same sentiment that underpins Arteta's reasoning. Yet, despite the alignment among managers, fans often find themselves caught in the middle. They shoulder the financial and emotional burden of fixture changes while being told those changes are made in the name of fairness or player protection. In practice, those decisions often serve commercial partners first, particularly broadcasters who push for prime-time slots to maximize viewership. From Arsenal's perspective, the fixture change is undeniably beneficial. Playing Everton on the 20th instead of the 21st gives Arteta's side 2 full days of rest before the Carabao Cup quarter-final against Crystal Palace, an important fixture as the Gunners continue their pursuit of silverware on multiple fronts. It also reduces the risk of injuries at a time when the squad has been stretched thin by European and domestic commitments. Internally, sources close to the club maintain that the request for a schedule adjustment was made solely based on player welfare and sporting integrity, not with disregard for supporters. Arsenal's communication staff are said to have worked closely with fan liaison officers to ensure alternative travel options were available, though they acknowledge that such measures can never fully compensate for the inconvenience caused. Meanwhile, the Premier League defended its decision, citing the need to maintain competitive balance across the fixture list. A league spokesperson explained that changes of this nature are reviewed on a case-by-case basis, and that input from clubs, broadcasters, and local authorities is taken into account. However, critics argue that such explanations have become formulaic, offering little real comfort to fans who consistently bear the consequences of late scheduling shifts. The ripple effects of this incident extend beyond Arsenal. Supporter groups from other clubs have pointed to it as yet another example of how fan priorities are sidelined in the modern game. There are renewed calls for an independent review of fixture planning and for a minimum notice period before changes are approved, proposals that have circulated for years but never gained traction. For Arteta, however, the matter seems settled. His focus remains on maintaining squad fitness and momentum heading into a decisive period of the season. While the debate over priorities will continue, his stance, that the health and performance of players must come first, reflects a pragmatic, if unpopular, truth in modern football. In the end, the controversy around Arsenal's fixture change underscores a growing divide between the business of football and the experience of football. Managers like Arteta operate in a results-driven environment where every decision is judged by points and trophies. Fans, on the other hand, live the consequences of those decisions, in time, travel, and loyalty. The real challenge for English football now lies in bridging that gap, ensuring that the pursuit of success on the pitch doesn't come at the expense of the very people who fill the stands.